Well, several efforts have been put in place by government of Uganda to ensure that agriculture stands out as the country's dependable sector.
And such efforts include, but not limited to, free farm inputs through operations, wealth creation, establishment of agriculture-related policies to promote high production for export, with most recent being the speed response to the locust invasion.
Well, unfortunately, the outcomes from this sector do not necessarily reflect the efforts being invested in the farm yields, according to the Ministry of Agriculture.
And right now, as Elijah Turiagumanewe, you join us from the Skyline Studios. We want to find out the missing link, and I understand you're going to speak to the Chief of Party at Avsi Foundation, but he also happens to be a poverty reduction and development specialist. So, Elijah, this conversation will probably answer many questions that critics say that as much as government is saying is investing in agriculture, well, the execution is where the problem is.
A very good evening to you, Mabel and Solomon. We're coming to you live from the Skyline Studios. And of course, going back to the subject matter, agriculture contributes 26 to 27% to Uganda's GDP. It also employs over 69%, which is a very huge figure looking at that digit and trying to split it. But we see youth here and then being involved in agriculture actively and seeing that they can actually improve the economy. This evening, we're going to be joined by the party chief, skilling youth and also empowering youth to see that they get employed in agribusiness. And I'm going to be holding this particular discussion with the chief of party of this Avsi, the chief of party Avsi is going to be casting an eye on this and helping us understand. You are the chief party Avsi, and
yes.
For this particular project of skilling youth for employment in agribusiness. Mr. Samuel Otim Rizo, help the viewers understand out there. Where is Uganda going wrong for us improving our agricultural sector is concerned?
Right, thank you very much. Of course, agriculture, as you just mentioned, has a great potential for the economy of the country, not only in terms of food production, but also in terms of increasing the GDP and employment of youths within the country. It's a sector that, as I say, we are building the aircraft while flying. So we go up and we go down, we tie a knot here and we try to fix it up. According to my analysis, one of the things that are actually missing in the sector is financial access. Financial access for youths to start up, financial access for farmers that are already in the business to increment and improve their businesses. Not only for the production locally, but also to look at the broader and international markets. In Europe, for example, 34% of the European Union's budget is on incentives. So the question would be, why wouldn't Uganda look at incentives for agripreneurs to improve their businesses?
On that very particular matter, how based can financing be improved for farmers?
Well, there are various ways. A huge topic is a monster that needs to be unpacked. But one of the easiest way is through, of course, government incentives. That is, if policies can be put in place so that farmers can access these incentives. Another way is to look at the financial systems in terms of banking, but not only, also SACCOs, etc. One of the downfall of these aspects are more the interest rates that are usually very high and not possible for farmers to access them. They could actually access them easily, but then the repayment and the risk of paying back are huge.
Away from financing, are there particular and unique efforts that you think youth can actually take towards improving the agricultural sector?
Yeah, the project that I am actually implementing is looking at youths, creating job opportunities for youths in the sector. And the youths are the largest chunk of the population in Uganda. They are very innovative and very creative in all the value chains. They really engage and embrace agriculture as a core business for them. I have in mind, for example, just last week we were hosting an event in one of our institutions, and we did a business pitch competition, and one of the youths that won was a female who started producing paper bags from banana leaves. This is just an example to show how creative a youth can get into.
Predominantly, Uganda is an agricultural economy. What are some of the efforts that are being taken by development partners to see that they improve the agricultural sector independently, considering the fact that various sectors depend on the agricultural sector for survival, for instance, the industrial sector?
Yeah, one of the biggest donors that we have in Uganda is, of course, the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Just recently at the Harvest Expo that has happened during the weekend, they had a whole Netherlands village. And these are kind of the initiatives. So trying, first of all, to link and connect with other entrepreneurs from abroad that can, this kind of commerce and trade can eventually generate development. Other aspects, our development partners are also looking at developing the value chains. So, for example, the potato value chain, rice value chains, etc. Looking at all those aspects with the focus on the market. On our side, we are more of a project looking at, it's an enabling project. It's a project that tries to get youths employed in the sector. There's a very high percentage of youth who are unemployed because the, let me say, the education system tends not to respond to what the demand of the labor markets are. So we have many youths that are graduated, for example, from tertiary institutions who do not have a job. And the only thing that they could try to do is to embrace agriculture and start. And we are here to assist them in that process.
Absolutely. It shook me recently when I found out that Uganda actually imports agricultural products to sustain our industrial sector. What best can be done to improve?
We need to improve quality of our produce because we are producing but not enough for the country, and the population is increasingly growing. That's one. So look at more at the production level, look at the quantity and the quality. But there's a lot of counterfeit products in the market in terms of seeds, in terms of pesticides, in terms of all the other inputs that are necessary to increase the production. And this is one of the downfall. Because several programs also included coming from the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands as well are looking at specifically developing the seeds value chains. And it's a great job because there's a lot of stuff outside there which is, at the end of the day, it's counterproductive for the production.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Samuel Otim Rizo, the Chief of Party Skilling Youth for Employment in Agribusiness, Avsi, speaking to us about agriculture and how best we can improve our agricultural sector to see that we can improve